Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. Um, it's so many things to be grateful for, of course. We are live on Spotify, we are live on YouTube. It's the name of the show. Please like, share, subscribe, do all of those good things. Also, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're one person away, one help away, one advice away from where you need to be in your destiny. Um, it's been proven over and over again since I've started this show. We have a guest coming on that I've known for a minute now, and I will discuss that when she gets here. But again, um, I'm so grateful. I sent out all my thank you letters again. Merry Christmas, even though that was yesterday. Happy New Year's early if I don't get a chance to see you again. Thank you so much for rocking with me, supporting me, pushing me, getting more people on to help me connect. Those who grace had the opportunity to be on the show, who said yes to the invitation. Thank you again. I couldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys to be able to tell your stories, to share what's going on in your life. Again, this is about being honest and open as much as possible. And it's been a help for everyone that actually joined in on the conversations. Again, if you are on now, please like and share. This you don't want to miss, especially in this time of season. And everything is good. We got some good things coming up for the new season for next year. I'm on a new day. So on Tuesday, starting January the 4th, I believe it is, or the 5th. I can't remember right now. I'll be live on GrooveRadioDetroit.com between 7 and 9 on Tuesday evenings. All the other shows won't be live on the radio, but they will be live on Facebook and YouTube and Spotify and everywhere else that I have it going on. Have some more great people to come on and share their stories. And this is what it's all about, to be connecting to all those around the world. So I just need you guys to like, share, heart, all those good things to make sure that this gets out. I am just waiting for my guest to come in shortly. And I believe she's here. Hello.
What's up?
So we're a little bit early only because I want to get my intro out so you can have the whole hour that we'll discuss what's apparent at this time.
Of
I was
course, of course.
explaining to them that we have some new looks coming on for the new year to, step it up, update, upgrade, do all of these type of things for the new year to get ready for the bigger picture, which I want to end up on television.
You should definitely,
So we're
definitely.
getting ready to start doing some things to chop it up for segments. And I'm just glad that this is happening. That's all I can say. Okay, so now that we are here, let's go ahead and get the intro. I'm so excited. Normally, I don't do shows on Sundays, but however, sometimes you gotta go where, you know, it is what it is. So, today I have a very, very special guest, like I always do, but she's very dear to my heart because it has been, what, 2.5 years now?
Yeah, almost three,
Almost three.
closer to three. Yep.
So I met her at the post office, and she gave me a couple of ideas. I'm gonna explain this. Um, she pushed me to being the whole me. At the time we were talking, we were of course male people, and she was like, so Sunshine, so what you be doing outside of work? And I'm like, I don't know. I got some music that I did. I ain't really doing nothing with it. I don't know what to do with it. It's just like, well, send it to me. Let me hear it. And so I sent her a couple of my tracks of my spoken word at the time. And she was like, man, you are dope. Like, you should be doing more than what you're doing here. So I would say she was one of the people that planted seeds in me to do more than what I was doing. She gave me opportunity to write a pre-commercial for one of her lines. And when we were out there walking the beat, as we would say, she was right. She was one of three young ladies that I daily talked to every day on the phone for hours until our phones would die, while we were out here delivering the mail. And it was more so just conversation. It was a sisterhood within a sisterhood of making sure that we were safe, because that machine do not care.
Not at
We were
all.
out there for hours in all types of weather, making sure that we all got in safely. So I don't know what everybody else was doing, but this is what we were doing. Technically, we weren't supposed to, but however, this is what we did on a daily basis. And so today we have Mari. I'm not gonna say her real name, but Mari Dean Miller. Her current role is a business owner and entrepreneur. Her company personal brand name is owner of Happily Hurt LLC, Loyalty Over Love Management Group. And how you say your middle name?
Danae.
Danae?
Yep.
On photography. Her goals and aspirations is to help normalize counseling and therapy to the Black community. And that's a big one on here. Her achievements, she's been in 6 fashion shows in Detroit and 1 in Atlanta. She's performed in many places, but her favorite place was Nashville. She's have managed to help and convince 10 Black men and women to get therapy. A fun fact about her, she's one quirky fact about myself is that she loves cartoons, which I still do too. Her focal points is mental health, music, and photography. So it's so many things that I know personally about her, as well as wow, that inspiration, that sidekick, that look, we all making goals to get out of here. We're not
Definitely.
planning on retiring from where we work at, because we know it's some I ain't gonna cuss, but that ain't it. You need to be
not at all.
to really doing what's good for you, what's good for getting out there and making it happen. Also, if you guys know me personally, and I have posted several of them, the pictures from my engagement and my pictures from my wedding, the video from my wedding, this is the one who did my pictures. So if you ever looking for a photographer, I totally recommend her. I recommend a lot of people that I know are photographers, but I personally know her for a couple of years now. I know her work, and she did an awesome job on all of my pictures.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My video too. So how are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How you doing?
I can't complain.
That's good.
This has been a long conversation, a long moment that I have been waiting to talk to you on here. We're so busy.
Man.
So how did you get into doing fashion? Let's start there.
I love clothes. So I'm more of a fashionista. Like, I put on things that you wouldn't normally see a person put on and try to turn it into my own. And my clothing line, which is Happily Hurt, it's based off of mental health. You know, we all got trauma. We all lost somebody. You know, we all grieving every day. You know, we trying to make it through life. It don't matter if it's from a relationship, family. We all lost somebody. So it's about basically bringing people together and still living happily in hurt, you know? So that's just really what it's about.
So if y'all have not noticed, she has on her own clothing line right now that she designs. Can
Oh,
they see?
yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they can see it. It's a broken
And
heart with the
at the
sun.
time, you were just launching it when we were at the post office, right?
Yep, it'll be 2.5 years.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like we both was like, nah, this is outside of what we do here. We're not happy here. It's more to life than what we're doing. And again, she's not just delivering your mail. She designs clothes and she does music as well. So how did you actually get into the actual design of it?
um, I just came up with like the actual design by just sitting around. Uh, it was it was real difficult at the beginning. You know, you try to figure out something that's different and something that nobody had seen before. And then me thinking that because my grandma had passed and it affected me a lot. And I still was smiling, still was, you know, going to work, still was trying to make it through life, but my heart was broken. And so, which is why I have, you know, the broken heart with the tongue sticking out and they smiling. Cause I mean, you still got to try to make it. We still got to live.
That's deep.
Thanks.
Like seriously. So, I know the story that you and your grandma was very, 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 very close.
Yes, very.
And so when she passed, um, was that the first time you started going to counseling?
Well, that's the first time I could say. I mean, I went when I was 18 and I had a family issue, you know, where I was out in the world by myself. And I, you know, seeked help when it came to therapy and it helped me get through a lot of things because nobody realized how much or how easy it is for your mind to slip into a suicidal space. So I definitely seek counseling at the moment and it helped me for the time being. But if you don't take it serious, it's not really gonna help you. And I was the person that wasn't taking it serious. And then, I was in a space where I tried, to commit suicide and I was saved from that. And so it was just like, now I gotta, I feel like I was saved for a reason. So I gotta tell everybody about things that help them move forward because it's difficult. And the meds that the doctors give you isn't always the best. Smoking weed isn't always the best. Drinking a drink isn't always the best thing. It might be best for the moment, but it's not gonna help you get through your everyday life.
Every day, yeah. And we know people in our circles, we know people in our family that chose to do that, whether it was smoking, getting high, drinking, whatever, to ease the pain.
Yeah.
And we fail to realize as humans, that's a part of life. Like death, disappointment, all of these things make or break us, as they say. It is really true. And the thing that gets me is we always had this stigma as growing up that whatever happens in your house stays in your house.
Yes,
and
definitely.
That don't help. It don't.
It don't.
We need to stop that right now. We need to stop because at the end of the day, when you feel like the walls are caving in, at one point it looked like things that were supposed to look alive to me look dead. You ever experienced that?
Yeah, definitely.
And I didn't realize how depressed I was. I didn't realize that when I look at older pictures, I look like death.
Yeah, you look real, like, you never realize how you look back and you just look sad. And you be like, dang, I was really going through it. Because after my grandma passed, she passed when I was 23. and I would drink a pint a day, you know. And I was a functioning alcoholic, you know, like I would go to work. I would still, you know, be out party until 2 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 6 and go to work, get off of work and drink some more. And I didn't realize how depressed I was until I got into a space now. And as you look back, you'd be like, dang, because I mean, I was 224 pounds. Like I gained all that weight from drinking. And, you know, like they said, you was raised to keep your household in your household. So you keep all your feelings to yourself. And that's why in the beginning, when I was going to therapy, it was hard for me to speak to a therapist because it was like, well, I don't want to tell you everything because I don't want you looking at my mama crazy, or I don't want you, you know, to look at my uncles crazy, or I don't want you to think I got some problems, or they terrible people. Like, so you start to feel like you got to kind of shelter and cover up what's really going on.
And sometimes when you start, once you get in there, and I have been through counseling off and on for different reasons. My first counselor was, I was in elementary school. And it's crazy to say, but my parents thought I was crazy.
Man,
And it was more
yeah.
so me finding myself. And I couldn't explain anything at a young age. And with you being underage, they still have the right to tell your parents what you were talking about. So I had trust issues because what I disclosed to her, she told. And so it was like, well, I ain't telling nothing. I'll just take what I'm going to take. And I'm not going to say anything because I have trust issues because you told when you told me you wasn't.
Yeah.
And after that, it was whatever I'm going through, I'll find another way to express myself. So here comes the self-hate or self-hurting yourself. This is where suicide comes in, the thought of suicide or committing suicide. I mean, not committing, but trying to commit suicide. There was moments where I started transforming myself, meaning cutting my hair, dyeing my hair, tattoos, tongue rings, piercings, all of these different things to express what's going on in the inside because I can't talk to anybody or I feel like I can't trust anybody. There's also the moment where you start dibbling dabbling in your sexuality. Now, I've said this several times before. Yes, I have been with girls before. Yes, at one moment I had both because it was like, okay, let's just have fun. Yeah, let's have fun with it. Whoever is the attention grabber at the time, that's where it was until, you know, I woke up. Now, am I saying that's wrong for everybody? Hey, I'm in no place to judge. But in the moment, this is what we're expressing why it's important for counseling. Being hurt, happily hurt, is not normal. It should not be normal.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. It's a gateway to healing, you know. Like as a kid, I didn't get therapy. I didn't get counseling. You know, I watched my mom go through things in relationships. I dealt with uncles and verbal abuse, you know, things like that, or watching my grandma go from near death to the next day she's all good and the next day she's not, and then, you know, and things like that. Being raised with a little brother that was sick from from being one all the way up. I learned how to give him his insulin when I was like 7, you know, and things like that. And people don't realize how much that affects kids, you know, and a lot of things that our parents do, even though they're doing the best that they can or they've been through themselves, it affects you. And, you know, people always, oh, you just a kid. You don't have feelings. You don't know how you feel. And it's like, no, you know, we know how we feel, but then you grow up thinking that, oh, this is just how I'm supposed to feel. This is how I'm supposed to be. And then you start to realize the more you speak to a person, because I've had the same therapist for the past 3 years, and she's also a minister. So we have, you know, spiritual conversations, and then we have, you know, physical conversations. And she helps me with a lot of different things. And that's why I'm like, therapy is the best thing period. Because I wouldn't have came on my clothing line if I didn't go through what I went through and if I didn't go through therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In some instance, people look at you where you are now and can't piece together the how did this happen or how did you get here. And this is why it's so important to have shows and platforms like this, because I can celebrate you when you at the finish line, but I'm more interested, how did it begin in your middle? You can't erase none of that in order for you to be here. And so those moments of, you go through life and your brain can actually shatter while you're still living.
Mm-hmm.
Like your realities are splitting while you're still living, when you're dealing with or not dealing with your grief, not dealing with being hurt and disappointed the correct way.
Right.
You'll try to find a reason to live every day. There was moments, I promise you, even at the post office, and I would be like, please don't let nobody say nothing to me today, because it might
it might go down. It might go down. It might be the day that, shoot, I might go postal up in this mug.
Literally.
People don't realize that.
This might be the day when a customer asks me, especially them checks and different things like that. Listen, let me do my job. Leave me alone. And it was like, okay, we made it through the day. Once we didn't clocked out, and then we get to go home. And depending on what's at home that's waiting on you, now you gotta build up again. I remember also those moments when I would say something to you, you'd be like, you know what? Hold on, I'll call you when we get out to the streets. And it was moments like, you good? You don't look good. You all right? And this is important too, to have people that's really in your circle that really know you.
Yeah.
Know your behavior, how you look, if something is off. Because if you don't, that might be the day you don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the post office affected me a lot. Like, that's why I end up getting this therapist that I have. And because, I moved from Lansing down here. I don't have no family. When I first got down here, I was sleeping in my car. I was sleeping at a hotel. All my checks was going to like me trying to just get through every single day, sending breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It was, like I said, it was plenty of times I slept in my car, went to, one of the trucker stops where you pay $1.99 to take a shower, things like that, just because I was trying to get away from where I was from. And because to me, it was a lot of chaos in Lansing. So I came here. And then when you come here and you got to deal with those supervisors, you got to deal with the cliques, the supervisors, people don't realize when you're in a big office, and you got young supervisors, they become cliquey. So if one don't like you, all of them make your life, terrible. And it became difficult. And then we was working 10, 12, 14-hour days. And I couldn't even go see my mom, couldn't go see my brother, and it affected me. It affected me a lot because my brother was sick. He went from being good to ICU. I can't rush down there because I'm at work. And then you try to leave and they make it seem like the mail is more important than your family, your health, even though they know if you was to die today, they're going to replace you tomorrow.
They're going to replace you.
So it became difficult. So therapy definitely was something that I had to lean on, and I'm definitely grateful that the post office at least has EAP, because without EAP, it's a lot of us that wouldn't be surviving.
Absolutely. And those moments, again, when you have people who really care about you, that notice when you're not there, when you notice that you're there, but you're not there. There was moments where you'd be like, okay, you running behind, let me hurry up and do mine, and I'm gonna come help you.
Yeah.
so we can get out here together. And some people, they want to rush to all of these jobs, but y'all don't know the hell that's
That you got to
really,
go through, man.
really going on. I can't knock nobody to try to go into these places, but I'm telling you, it is not what you think. It's not. Sometimes I look at it now with me being out is, man, I'm like, Mark, when you getting out? What?
Man.
I just asked
And
you
you
that
know,
the
you're
other
right.
day.
Man, and you already know I got a plan because I plan on having a brick and mortar. I want a whole store and things like that. I mean, it don't get me wrong, it's got a lot better, but that's not a place I want to end up. I don't want to be there 30 years, knees hurting, body hurting, because what really made me, because in the beginning, you feel like, oh, this is an amazing job. We getting paid tax time checks
Until you
every single
fail.
week. Man, right. And then once I fail and I hurt my back, it was like, man, they act like they didn't even know me. It was like they act like I was just trash, like nothing at all. I was disposable, and it's like, dang, my back still affects me. I'm not even 30 yet, and I have moments where I can't even sit in the car for a long time, or I can't sit down for a long time, where I have to lay with a pillow between my legs, and they just go on with their life like, oh well, if you can't do it, we can get somebody else to do it, or you be penalized because you don't go as fast as they expect you or they used to you going.
Yes, when I tell you, I'ma honestly say my there were a lot of influences. It was like, look, is it worth it? You need to really ask yourself. I had a pinched nerve in my back and my neck. I got bit by a dog twice. And that was like, oh, because it ain't no tearing your meat basically in your flesh, it wasn't no big deal to them.
You only realize how much traumatizing that is.
They made me work when I should have been off.
Yeah.
Which then messed up my money later on. That is a whole, it was just crazy from the time it happened till the time I walked out. Yeah. And I don't regret leaving. I have another peace of mind, another step up to somewhere different. That, again, mental health is very important. And we downplay it as if it's nothing. And it's everything to do with you.
Yeah.
If your mental is not right, you will jack up everything in your life on a daily basis and wonder why and how did this happen.
Definitely.
So what made you get into photography?
I just like taking pictures. Like, I like captioning certain angles, certain things like that. And it was a way for me to express myself without having to talk. I was able to see certain things, or noticing how you could see the effects. Because I came across these pictures from a kid, and my dad was in prison my entire life, but I didn't have a relationship with him at all. But all his other kids did. They went and visit him and things like that, and you could see the difference in the picture that we took. I'm over here by myself, just me looking sad, and then it's like this group of kids together, and they all smiling and cheesing, and you could tell how uncomfortable I was in that situation. And nobody realizes how much a picture can speak a million words and you don't even have to say anything. And just looking at that picture, just realizing how I was affected made me be like, I want to capture everything. I want to be able to take a picture of everything. Because when the person come back, good, bad, or ugly, they're going to be able to get those feelings again.
Mm-hmm. When they see the picture.
Yeah.
I remember when we discussed about how we were going to do the pictures for, which ended up being the engagement. It really was supposed to be for my actual wedding, but that whole situation happened with the courts and they wasn't open because of the first year of COVID.
Yeah.
And so we was like, well, since we can't get married now, it's no sense of wasting the day. Let's just get dressed and just do a photo shoot. He was like, yeah, okay. So where you want to go? And I'm like, well, everybody says Belle Isle, and we could take some pictures at the house and then have something afterwards. And when I tell you, it was seamless to me. Like it was, this is really happening, but it was us. You captured every feeling, every emotion that we both had that day. And even in those moments when I can go back, grab my photo album and look, even when honestly, when you have those moments where you be like, let me go back to the reasons why
Right.
we got together
Yeah.
in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have my photo album and I'll replay the wedding as well. Like, okay, whew, that was right. Okay, I didn't miss it. So I'll go back into the pictures where you'll be like, okay, look at her. And that's all we would say, or you would say, look at her, touch her, move her this way. And with the angles from the sun, when we went to Belle Isle by the planetarium, which was not open, we sat at the chairs, and those are some of the best captions that I've seen of me myself, and our togetherness as a couple. And from that moment to now, how we have evolved from the beginning. And that was a test to what you saw in the camera lens.
Yeah, definitely. And then on top of that, us sitting around and me knowing y'all story, that's why I like to at least have a conversation with a person. Like, well, let me know a little bit about what's going on, because I'm a very observant person. I like to, get to know a person before I really shoot like that. And especially when it comes to those type of pictures, because I need to know y'all love story in order to tell y'all love. And to know, that y'all met as kids and then now it's like a whole different thing. It's like, okay, cool. All right, do this, do that. Let me see this. That's why, we went to the playground and it was like, I need to take that picture of y'all walking, because now y'all walking the same steps y'all walked together before. And I love it. Because like you said, when you go back and you look, you can remember exactly why y'all love each other, but I can remember that day, like how exciting it was and how fun it was. And even the video, because, I had brought my little brother with me, the one that passed. And he was the one that helped me do the video. And being able to go back and look and just be like, oh yeah, even it was little things that he did that I didn't even see, and it was just like, oh yeah, everything about it was great. Everything about it is great.
The whole us coming back to the house to get married, the house that he grew up in, my block, all of this it was so many emotions in our story that you captured everything. And I remember even your brother was there and he was taking a video, and then at the moment, I think when we got done, he had to go eat or sit in the car like he wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
And even in that moment, he pushed to even, be a part to help you in your vision. And so it was so many things again that really stood the test of time, even in the pictures, our relationship. And one of the things I really take into, we had a relationship outside of the post office. Even if you didn't do my pictures or any of that, it was still outside, like it is today. Excuse me. And that's even in a test to, I remember we would be on the phone, like, I got to call you back. I'm on the phone with the counselor.
Yep.
While we out working. Like, okay. And so we understand that it's important to be able to talk to somebody that you trust.
Definitely.
Because we got some deep hurts in us that sometimes without talking, you don't know that is there. Our mind has a way of shielding and trying to heal itself and making you forget a portion of it so you can move forward.
Yep, that's called trauma blocking.
Absolutely. I got a lot of those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And when we do that, it's like our brain tries to forget, you know. And it's a lot of things that I forgot from childhood that affect me now. It's a lot of things that I forgot from yesterday that affected me, that when I go to therapy and I talk to my therapist, it's brought back up. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it's like shadow work. You got to go back and you got to relive those moments, but now you're an adult. So now you're able to, rearrange and fix the way that you want to respond to those, or the way that you feel in those. And you have more understanding, because there's a lot of things before I didn't understand when it came to my mom. It came to my dad, uncle, so on and so forth. And then I look and I'm like, man, I'm the same age as my mom when I was 10. I wouldn't know what to do with a 10-year-old right now. It'd be days where I'm trying to figure out what I want to eat. So imagine trying to figure out what a 10-year-old want to eat, a 6-year-old want to eat, and a 1-year-old want to eat. So it's things that we don't, as a kid, you don't pay attention to. You just really think about how you feel. And as a parent in the situation, you think about how you feel. And we try, hopefully we can get it where, we can get family counseling, where the kid is able to actually express how they feel and the parent is able to express what they're going through and go from there. Because some kids, you get to think like, my mom don't buy me nothing, and don't even realize your mom check's getting garnished $600-700 and she only making $1,500, and y'all rent is $800 and that's all she got left. So it's a lot that I feel like parents should be more honest about, and they also should allow their kids to express themselves. So that's something I'm definitely working on, is family counseling.
Mm-hmm. Even in a lot of stuff that we move and we don't know all the pieces to the whole picture of why this is, you don't find out until you're an adult.
Man.
Oh, so
man, so that's why I didn't get that Barbie, like, that's why I couldn't play basketball that year. And then you think it's just because of something you did, or they mad at you. And then to come to find out it's something completely different. Yeah. But some parents, they don't want to tell their kids, like, listen, I can't afford this. They want to try to hide it. Like, instead of just being honest and being like, okay, this is what it is, they sit around and try to make excuses for it. Well, your grades ain't good. And you're like, well, I done tried my hardest all year. Maybe I'm not an A+ student. Maybe I'm a B+ student, but I didn't try, all my assignments was turned in. So, and instead of them just being like, listen, we can't afford it. We got to choose between the water or you going on a trip.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It's more to be, I think I think the first time you go into there, they're asked, tell me a little bit about yourself. And you do the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll ask, why are you here? How can I help you?
Right.
And those moments of, I blacked out a lot of times with because of trauma.
Yeah.
Different things that I can't even talk about to this day because the people are still alive.
Yeah.
And so you black it out, because if you open up this can,
man, that's that shadow work.
There's gonna be a lot of people hurt by what you know.
Yeah.
And so that's another part where your brain's like, okay, we're gonna keep this under lock and key, and we're gonna figure a way how to move forward. Right. And then for some who dealt with drama and trauma and all of these things, we find things to help you cope. For some, like we talked about, it was drugs, alcohol, smoking, sex. It was all of that. And all you trying to do is live day by day.
Yep. I went from drinking to smoking. And then I called it up like, I don't smoke no more. It's like, I ain't picking up nothing. And you
And
like,
I said,
what?
what? Huh? Who?
You?
You? I almost threw the phone like I'm talking to somebody else. Like, you.
Man, yeah,
So we're gonna get into that. I'm glad you brought that up.
definitely.
So you recently basically almost died.
Yes.
So tell the people your experience of almost dying.
Um, I was at like I would go to work. I was still going to work in the midst of me not feeling good because you get the feeling like I gotta be there. I gotta be there. And the weather was going from hot to cold to cool. I was taking my coat off, putting it back on, sweating with my coat on, taking it off, wearing a hoodie down to a t-shirt, down here, down there, and still going. And then I started getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And I'm like, okay, maybe I just got a cold. I'm drinking Theraflu like water up in there, trying to stay afloat. And as I'm going and still working, it just became worse. And I got the COVID test, all negative. I got them like 5 times, all negative, and it was just like, okay, something's not right. It got to a point where I was like bedridden. I couldn't barely get up, couldn't go to the bathroom, couldn't, needed help to do everything. And I had eventually I went to the hospital. I went to the hospital. I went to Henry Ford first. They tested me, sent me back home. If you haven't got the COVID, you good. The next day I came right back. Like, I'm dehydrated. I've been throwing up all day. They like, you not dehydrated. There's no way. You've been gone for 10 hours. They come back like you dehydrated. You know, did the COVID test, still don't have it. Go back home, and it's like this time, okay, I'm not gonna go to Henry Ford. I'm gonna go to Beaumont. Same thing. It's like, all right, this time I'm gonna go to Providence. I went to Providence. They sent me home. The next time I went, they came back and they was like, okay, you have lesions on your lungs. We don't know, right? We don't know what's going on. We got to test you for COVID again, so on and so forth. And then it came back after all that, and it was just like, oh, you have the walking pneumonia in both lungs. They had to do bone marrow tests on me. That's the worst pain in the world. Lymph node biopsies, all these things where I was in ICU, my temperature stayed at 104 every single day. Like they can get it to go down to like 100, 102 with some Tylenol, but it was not working at all. And I'm not quite sure. Like the more every single day, I was there for 15 days. Every day, 104, 104, 104. It was so bad that they thought I had the virus. They put me inside of like a quarantine space. The nurses wouldn't even come in there to give me my meds, because they were so afraid that I had the virus and I didn't. And once they was finally able to break it, I probably had like 100 bags of antibiotics to try to break this pneumonia that wasn't trying to break at all. Barely could breathe, things like that. And I'm not quite sure what it was. I'm not gonna say I'm not quite sure what it was. God helped me through for sure. But in that mist, in that moment, I had seen my brother, and I was talking to my brother. My brother passed. He passed in August. And it's crazy because it's like, how you feel like if you talking to somebody that's passed, you about to pass. You like, oh Lord, I'm about to die. It's too early for me, Jesus. Things like that. But what it really was, it was my brother. He was talking to me and giving me the strength. He like, I did this for 25 years. You only got to do this for a couple more days. You can do this. And in the midst of that, I was like, after my mind got cleared and everything came through, I started feeling better. All the biopsies was negative. All the tests was negative. They was like, oh, you had a viral infection. The only thing that they could say that I really had was walking pneumonia. And after that, after not smoking for like almost a month, it was like, I'm not smoking at all. And now that I'm not smoking at all, I have this great relationship with God. I pray, a lot more than I was before. I could feel the presence of my brother a lot more than before. I feel like I can go through my grieving process because I was like pushing it down, like, oh, I'm about to cry, let me smoke, I'm about to cry, let me get a drink real fast. And it's like, you never really go through that process. And once I came home completely, it was like, that's when I called you, like, Sunshine, I ain't never smoking again. I ain't never gonna do nothing. And I've been going strong for almost 2 months.
I want y'all to realize what she just said. Now, y'all don't know her, but I do. And for her to say she is not smoking, I literally was like, what? What you say? Who
Yeah,
ain't
you
smoking no
did.
more?
You did.
What? For the person that was like, Sunshine, you might as well, basically, you come on this side. You might as well go ahead and smoke and do what you need to do. I'm telling you, you're going to feel better. Now, for the person that was trying to get me to smoke, to say, I'm not smoking no more.
Man.
And the simple fact, like I said, we don't realize sometimes the devices that we use to get over grief, to get past disappointments, to get past the embarrassments, all of these things,
the anxiousness,
all of this, anxiety, all of these emotions, all of these real feelings,
man.
In order for you to live. Counseling, talking to someone, I tell anybody, I didn't even realize how depressed I was for 16 years.
Yeah.
And when I look at the pictures, the few that I have, I look like death. I was much bigger. I was like 300 some pounds. I don't look happy. The different changes that I went through just mentally, things that were in my face, things that I tried to commit suicide several times. The moments that I did, God sent Zion in the room every time when I was about to do something. I had a gun to my head, gun in my mouth. I had a butcher knife to my heart. And God would send somebody to me. I had always had access to medication. I was just gonna take a whole bunch of them and say, I'm done. I don't have nothing else to fight for. She would come in and say, Mommy, I need you. And I'd be like, huh? Instead of her saying it like that, I heard something else outside of her telling me that she needs me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, God, I'm done. I can't do the suicide thing no more. It ain't for me.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. It's done. It's over. Now, God, I need you to help me, not cope. I need you to deliver me and heal me.
Yeah.
And once those moments happen, things start lining up. Those things that were not good for me started leaving. No longer in the mix no more.
Yeah.
Now I'm working on you. And now you look different because now your focus is not on mess anymore. You're not in mess no more. I'm giving you peace. I'm answering your prayers. So when I'm not looking, when I'm not even paying attention, God sends me my first love. And I'm thinking he's funny. Like, what? What you mean?
Yeah.
This man went to hell, picked me up, put me on his shoulder, and was like, I got you. He came in this house. I went to work in 2 days. He cleaned my whole house out of all the clutter that was left from my ex.
Yeah.
I let him in the house, like, close your eyes, don't look this way, don't go nowhere, just go where I'm going. Don't go in this room. I tried to close everything up. I didn't even know how depressed I was. He said
Yeah.
God told him to clean my house up. Literally.
Yeah.
I came home. It was a new place. Like, when did that get there? But like I had no clue. And he told me to relax. He was the one like, babe, I think you need to get another job.
Yeah.
I said, what you but no, I need you to get another job. He said, you smart, you all of this. You can get a better job. Go ahead. Because this job don't care about you. Said, okay, we out here 9 o'clock. Sometimes we was out there later than that
Man.
in the cold.
Oof.
And he was like, they don't call and check on y'all. They
Don't
this is why
care.
we had our system. Because they wasn't doing it. He was like, I need you to leave. I left for a better opportunity. And even in my moments of having COVID, he took care of me when I told him not to. And he said,
Yeah.
who gonna do it? I was one of the first people at our office who had COVID that
Yeah.
I know of. And so when you look back at certain things, God was there all along. And now you get to understand fully why he gave you the assignment. Because everybody can't handle what we've been through.
Definitely. Because me stopping smoking, I didn't talk to a couple people, a couple friends, a couple cousins, and they called me like, I done went 3 days without smoking. And it's like, that's a blessing. Because I thought I was a heavy smoker, and I didn't even smoke that much, but they smoke every 5 minutes, 2, 3 blunts at a time. And they went 3 days without smoking. That's like amazing, because nobody realized how dependent weed can be. It's like it takes you away from everything, but sometimes it can take you away from yourself, and it becomes very difficult to get yourself back unless you're smoking. So once I got myself back, it was just like, I'm not about to let myself go. I'm more comfortable with myself. I wasn't comfortable with myself at a point in time because everybody just didn't like my sexuality, and so I wasn't too comfortable with myself. But now it's like, hate me or love me, I'm here, and I'm cheesing, I'm smiling, and I'm living. And I just thank God that I was able to see it, and see it at a point that I feel like he had to break me down in order for me to be rebuilt.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes we have to, I say this all the time too. It's not easy being a trailblazer.
Nah.
And you don't realize how many people are watching you, whether they're there to cheer you on or looking for you to fail. At the end of the day, they're still watching. Definitely. And so leaving from, and it's so funny, people was like, I'm staying here, I ain't never leaving, to them gone too. And I'm just waiting on one more person to have their exit moment to leave, to be able to be free to do what you were called to do. Definitely. Again, it's not easy being the ones to have to carry the cross, carry all of this, but when you look back at it, you thanking God that you did it, and you're better off for it. This show has been my own medicine. The people, the guests that have come on this show, every person has taught me something. I get to be a student of everybody else's life and what they're going through, what the not all bad things. It inspires me as well. And so to get to hear the detailed story of how Happily Hurt happened, I knew about it, but I didn't know the in-depth story of it. I didn't understand the point of why you love photography until we start talking about it. Again, I just seen another light of you that I never saw before. And again, this is going on 3 years of friendship.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that when they hear this story of how important counseling is, especially in grieving, um, I didn't go through counseling for grieving through my dad, which was like your grandmother. Um, I was going through separation. I was separated in my own house when my father passed. No one knew. And so the only thing I had to cope with me was my ex bought me a dog that I slept with every day. Until I got a point where I had to be like, God, don't allow me to cope. I need you to deliver me and heal me. And once that happened, I got rid of the dog because I ain't needed no more.
Yeah.
And then I got focused on my mind. I focused on all these other things. And then now I'm at a place where Camila is really Camila. She's happy and she's still learning more about herself. And we just scratching the surface. And so I'm glad that you're still in the land of the living.
Oh, yes, for sure.
I didn't have to come to your funeral.
I'm glad you ain't had to come either, because I'd have been mad I wasn't invited.
It's the talent that you have that the world needs to see. A brilliant writer. I've never in person seen you perform, but I know you're good at it. Just if you a smidget of what you did with the pictures, I know that you are awesome in performing.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
Everybody that's on here or who will see the replay, please again like and share. An hour goes so fast when you're having fun. A lot of people come on be thinking that they're gonna be nervous, and I say it's just me. You're in your own space. I'm here. And so they tell me they had an awesome time afterwards to be able to be free to tell their story. And believe it or not, us talking here is like counseling, it's like therapy, that you get to tell something that nobody even knew about until now. And so again, thank you. I don't want anybody to have to go through almost death to wake up.
Man, not at all.
I don't want anybody to have to go through any accidents or feel like the world is caving in. All you have to do is just, talk to God. He'll make a way of escape. He always has and always will. So, did you want to say anything to the people before we go?
Definitely. But first, thanks for letting me be on your show. I definitely appreciate it. I know it's been a long time coming with the way our schedules be conflicted. I appreciate you doing it on Sunday for me. And, just check my website out at happilyhurtllc.com. I got new stuff coming out real soon. And I got a sale actually right now at the moment as well, too. So, and merry belated Christmas and soon to be Happy New Year.
I know that's right around the corner. So again, thank you for coming on. Like I was saying earlier, in the new year on Tuesdays, I will be live on grooveradiodetroit.com from 7 to 9. And the other shows will be live, but they won't be on the radio. Those who are able to tell their stories, they got new products, they got new music, videos, all of these things. I'm here for it all. to be able to connect and help people get to their one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where they need to be in their destiny. It's been proven over and over again, not just in their life, but in my life as well. So again, signing off, I'm your girl, Sunshine, and I will see you soon.